Let's turn our attention now to the Digital Platforms Inquiry, which has just been handed, the report from the ACCC to the Treasurer. He's going to consider that, release it later. We saw the interim report at the end of last year. With us for his thoughts now, we're joined by Campbell Reid, Group Executive at News Corp, Corporate Affairs, Policy and Government Relations. Campbell, what do you want to see fundamentally out of the government's response to this ACCC report?
Well, thanks for having me. Primarily what we want to see is leadership, both from the ACCC and the government, on the issues of levelling the playing field between the tech giants and content creators. At the moment, they unfairly dominate advertising markets. They free ride off content created by us and others and monetize it without returning any of that revenue fairly back to us. And they change the way those systems and their platforms work at their whim, with none of us able to understand them or have any input into how those systems should work. So we're looking for leadership from both the government and the ACCC across all of those issues.
In particular, there has been a lot of pushback from those social media companies, the digital providers, about giving us access to what their algorithms are and how they work, because that would give us a lot of insight into how they are utilising content that comes out of media companies like News Corp, which owns Sky News. And so is that something you'd like to see come out of this report, more access to things like the algorithms?
Yeah, and let's not be sort of frightened by the doomsday kind of statements that have come out from the platforms. We're not seeking to tell them how to run their businesses, but again, we don't think that they should have the right to unfairly control how we run ours. And we regard these platforms now as unavoidable trading partners. You can't survive in today's world without being an active participant in this world. And our very survival depends on us being effective across all digital and physical platforms. It is entirely unfair that the rules of those platforms can be changed at a whim without us having any ability, not to really, know their secret herbs and spices, but we don't get any warning when the algorithms are changed, and we have no understanding of how to be effective on those platforms because they unfairly control all of the data about our customers and change the rules to suit themselves, which can, cost people jobs at the drop of a hat. When, say, Facebook decides that news is not important, suddenly a whole lot of people and business that has been devoted to serving that need is just chopped off at the knees.
And in terms of the content that they use, and as you've alluded to, that they take advantage of, provided by organisations like News Corp and other media outlets, how can that be monetised to the point where they pay for it, basically?
Well, there are a couple of ways, but the first, if you run any business and you use a raw material to make money, the person who provides you with the raw material deserves some payment for that. And Facebook and Google and the other platforms have invented genius businesses in which they don't pay for the raw materials at all. And there's just an incredible inherent unfairness in that. So maybe they just pay us directly for the content they use. They certainly should pay a better share of the revenue that they generate from monetising our content. And they should allow us to be able to reach directly to our customers who are using our content on their platforms, so we can have a relationship with the customers where our customers and we choose the rules of that relationship, how much people subscribe for, how much they pay. And again, at the moment, the platforms are in the middle of those conversations and stall or hamper any of those conversations for any business trying to reach their customers.
What we've seen from at least one of the senior executives at Facebook was saying that they're not opposed to regulatory changes and tougher regulations, but they just want to be part of the consultation process. Do you have confidence that they will actually come to the table and negotiate in good faith with the government? I
think that's a nice sentence that they've said about that, and it's kind of cute in that what they're saying is, and Facebook have developed a wonderful kind of playbook on this, of this. It's sort of part of their, we must do better mantra. oh yes, and we do need regulation. And what they're really saying, I believe, is that they're inviting people to propose regulation that they can then, as they have with the algorithm review kind of conversations, go, oh, that's unworkable. Really, you know, what Facebook should be starting to do is stop saying we should be doing better and start actually doing better.
Campbell Reid, are you, just on another matter before we let you go, are you comfortable with the government's response when it comes to the press freedom inquiry? Is the Parliamentary Joint Committee on Intelligence and Security the appropriate mechanism, or would you like a broader, more transparent look at this?
David Anderson from the ABC and Hugh Marks from Nine and I had a constructive meeting this week with the Attorney General and the Communications Minister, and we believe that they are taking these issues seriously. We made our concerns about the Intelligence Committee being a very narrowly focused forum, but really we also raised again our very strong belief that the federal government, rather than dealing just with the specific issues that we have raised, they need to take a leadership position and reinforce the federal government's commitment to an open and free democracy. And we're a bit frustrated that I don't think that they've quite grasped that message, that it's the federal government that should be setting the tone for the whole of the country on the fact that we are an open democracy that treasures the free flow of information that allows Australians to be informed about the country and the society that they live in. And so, on one hand, yes, we are pleased to be engaged in good conversations, still remain frustrated that there's a bigger issue that's not being confronted, and really frustrated that Annika Smethurst and the ABC journalist, a month after they were raided by the AFP, still have no clarity as to whether or not they face charges.
Absolutely. Campbell Reid, Group Executive at News Corp's Corporate Affairs and Policy and Government Relations. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for talking to me. See you soon.